The president's plan for curtailing earmarks, not written into law, that Brett Baer just told us about, is a new proposal. Congressional Democrats, however, think it's simply backward-looking. Chief Washington correspondent Jim Angle reports.
President Bush has decided to wield a new axe in the battle against earmarks, telling government officials not to disperse any money for earmarks that lawmakers did not see and did not approve.
Bush would be saying to his appointees, and by extension the appointees of the next administration, you are not required, in fact you're not going to enforce the wish list that's put on in these committee reports.
The president's making a step in the right direction of trying to eliminate as many of these wasteful earmarks as possible.
Earmarks are directions on how to spend money appropriated by Congress, but analysts say as many as 95% are inserted after Congress has voted and never seen by most lawmakers.
They're just literally hundreds, if not thousands, of special local projects, special interest group payoffs in some cases. It's really gotten to the point where it's perverted the whole purpose of Congress.
The president called on Congress in last year's State of the Union to cut in half the number of earmarks, but since then, many analysts say, it's only gotten worse.
They enacted 5,000 more earmarks than Bush was willing to tolerate, and they spent a whole lot more money on these things. And now he's saying, sort of, pretty please, will you try and listen to me this year?
But this time he plans to get tougher, telling government officials not to spend any such money. The only snag is that he will issue the directions in an executive order, which the next president can disregard, which may be why Democratic leaders today seem to dismiss the entire effort.
He's going to focus on earmarks, which shows how hard up he is for something to talk about.
In his final State of the Union address, is not talking about the promise of the future. He's talking about the process of an appropriations bill. I think that's pretty sad.
Even though the next president, whoever it may be, could override President Bush's executive order, it would put the issue of earmarks front and center again and perhaps put a new president on the spot.
What it can do is set the tone and the temper of the discussion at the presidential level for the next president. Will the next president stick with this executive order? Will this next president try to impose a flat moratorium?
Whatever the solution, says Senator DeMint, everyone has to do it together or it won't work.
So no one wants to be up here not asking for money for their state when some other senator's taking home billions to their state, and people back home feel like they're being cheated.
That's why House Republicans are calling for a complete moratorium, not just reductions. Almost everyone refers to the earmark process as an addiction, and breaking it, many say, will require everyone to hold hands and do it together. So think of President Bush's plan as an intervention aimed at giving lawmakers the will to go cold turkey. Brit?
Jim,